This new adaptation of War of the Worlds is both entertaining and nauseating in equal measure, and there are parts that even made me laugh out loud, but not in a good way. There's been quite a few adaptations of H.G. Wells' classic novel, but this one feels more daring than most, because it takes us back to the early 1900s and a time when humanity was ready for aliens. It's a story we've heard before, or at least the basic idea. In short, humans vs. Martians who come to Earth to conquer it, but it's got some new ideas. This is the story of William Caxton, a dock worker in Victorian London, played by Gabriel Byrne. He's a widowed father with 2 kids, both of them teenagers. There's also a love interest, beautiful Amy, played by Eva Lynn from Vikings, and a good friend named Ogilvy, played by Rupert Graves. The movie opens with William and his son living a poor life in London. The father and son have a great bond. They work together and they live in poverty together. One day, while working the docks, William hears a booming sound and he sees this red light in the sky. The very next day, a mysterious cylinder crashes into the sea, and of course, the authorities do not want to deal with it. So William takes it upon himself to go out and see what's happening. He sneaks onto the beach with his son and finds one of these strange cylinders. Suddenly, the ground shakes and the cylinder splits open, revealing a heat ray gun and a dead alien. Then the alien starts to reanimate and attack William. Luckily, William gets away and he tells everyone about what he saw, but no one believes him. They think he's crazy. And here's where the pace picks up. William teams up with Amy and her father, General Ogilvy, and they go out to try to find his daughter after she's taken by these Martians. Now, Ogilvy has a backstory where he used to be in the military, but he was dishonorably discharged after having a disagreement with his superiors. We don't know the details about this, but it's likely that he was court-martialed for refusing to follow orders. What happens next is that they find some other survivors. Most of these people have lost their minds. They're running around in the forest like animals, and the leader of this group is a woman who becomes obsessed with William, even though he doesn't like her. You might remember her from other things. She was Hannibal Lecter's secretary in The Silence of the Lambs as they're hiding in the woods. William keeps hearing voices inside his head, which turns out to be the dead alien from the cylinder trying to control his mind. His son also goes missing. Meanwhile, the British army shows up. They finally decided to take action against the Martians. They attack, but they're repelled by the heat rays and several soldiers are killed. It's at this point that the general says, "It's hopeless, there's no way we can win." This is a bit disappointing. I was hoping for something a little more epic. And even William says this too. It's like nobody has any faith in humanity. Come on guys, you gotta believe in your heart of hearts that humanity will prevail. Anyway, William and his companions keep walking until they find an abandoned church where they plan to hide. And there's this moment in the movie that I just had to laugh at. It's when they go to use the toilet, and one of the characters pulls down the woman's skirt and she pees in the corner. Seriously, they couldn't show anything in this movie. They were probably trying to get a PG-13 rating, but that would have been impossible anyway. Let's move on. While hiding in the church, they get attacked by more of these creatures, but luckily, William is able to fight them off. And at this point, we learn that these creatures can be killed by water, but only if they're exposed to it while on land. It seems like these aliens can breathe underwater, but they can't walk on land without drying up and dying. During this scene, William kills a female creature and then he carries its severed head back to the truck. Yes, the truck. Somehow the truck magically reappears in the middle of nowhere. William puts the head in the back of the truck and drives off. The next day, William is captured by the army and they take him to their headquarters. He tells them about how to kill the Martians, but they don't listen to him. They think he's still crazy. Soon, however, they realize that he was right and the plan to destroy the Martians begins. This involves sinking a whole bunch of these cylinders into the sea all around the coast of England. The theory is that if these cylinders are opened underwater, the Martians won't be able to get out and they'll eventually die. And sure enough, it works. The remaining Martians flee underground. Meanwhile, William's son has joined up with a gang of rebels who are led by a mysterious character played by Timothy Spall. Yes, that guy from Harry Potter. These rebels have guns, but they have a hard time hitting the Martians because the Martians can teleport short distances. Also, the Martians can create these force fields that block bullets. However, the main weapon the Martians seem to use is their heat ray gun. It's so powerful that it melts metal, and the rebels set up a trap to lure out one of the Martians. They want to capture it alive so they can study it. And they do manage to get one of the guns. But after doing some tests, they find out it needs a power source to work. The power source, as it turns out, is people. The heat ray sucks the life out of people, and then it uses that energy to power itself. Yeah, seriously. That's the way it's explained in the movie. People are like batteries. Now, one of the rebels has fallen in love with William's daughter, but she's more interested in William's son. And here's where things get really weird. The general is killed by one of these creatures, and then William's son sacrifices himself to save his father. Then William, who has now recovered his sanity, grabs one of those heat ray guns and fights off the rest of the Martians. Meanwhile, William's daughter has changed her mind about the rebel leader. She now wants to be with William's son, even though he's dead. and at the end of the movie, they embrace. There's this voiceover by William saying that life will never be the same again. Okay, let's talk about what I liked and what I didn't like. First of all, I thought the practical effects were done really well. I mean, there's a lot of CGI in this movie, but it looks decent, especially for a sci-fi movie. I guess my biggest complaint would be that it tried too hard to be something that it's not. I mean, it's obviously a low-budget movie, but it tries to pretend that it's high art. It also tries to be scary, but the acting is so over the top that it just ends up being funny. At times it feels like a bad 80s movie. There are slow moments where it drags, but overall, it's actually not a terrible movie, especially if you watch it with a group of friends. The acting is so bad that it becomes good, so watch it with some buddies and have a laugh. I wish I could say that this movie was free on Tubi, but unfortunately it's not. It is available on another streaming service. There's a link below if you want to check it out. Thanks for watching. Here's another great movie that you can watch. Have a great day and be kind to each other.